Yeah, Jordan's in the house. Come on, get up. We're sitting here like this again, talking about what should have been. You roll your eyes like you just don't care. Let's get the check, cause I'm up out of here. If you won't change, I won't change. And everything remains the same. And I won't play this losing game, cause that's what love goes down the drain. Oh, come compromise. Let me give you just a little advice. Love bears such a thin the sky. It should come at no surprise. Come compromise.
Welcome to the Teach, Lead, and Inspire podcast. 2 generations, 1 mission. When a Marine Corps dad and his Army veteran son sit down to talk life, legacy, and leadership, you know it's going to be real. This isn't just another podcast. It's a bridge between wisdom and action, between past lessons and future goals. Welcome to the conversation we all need, but few men ever get to have. Father, son, purpose. Let's go. Okay. All right, we're going to kick off. Now, this is actually going to be the true episode up in here, but we're going to continue. So last week, we actually, in one of our other segments, we were having the talk about the talk that most parents of someone of color have with their child for them to be safe when dealing with the cops and everything else. So this episode, what we're going to talk about the other talk, okay? The other talk is what is not happening, and we're going to do it here. So I've done a couple of things in preparation for this. One of the things, I actually have a PowerPoint that's going to be a video that I'm going to make that I'm going to give to you, because it's you're going to have to sit down and watch it, and it's going to be about over an hour. Okay, there's just no other way around
command and staff meeting ass.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to do that so that I'm going to go ahead and record it where it's on the video, where you can actually, you don't have to sit down and watch the whole hour and stuff on it. But it just turned out to be that way. Okay. And there was just no other way I can shortcut it, because I needed to be able to show you things in there. So this is about men's health. And we're going to talk today about one part of it. Okay. But then I'm going to want you to go and actually, and this is something that's not only for you, it's also for my grandsons. Now, right. Jordan the fourth is old enough where he can understand it, and he should watch it as well. Okay. But when your other ones get a little bit older and stuff, they need to be aware of it. And this will be something that they'll probably watch while I'm gone. But that's why I want to capture it in video. And that's why I'm having it here part of this podcast, because our kids, or even your future grandkids, will be able to come to the podcasts and stuff that we got, for them to be able to continue to see those, because it's been captured on video. Okay, so this is the one. The other talk is that what parents don't do, that I never had done, and we're doing together here, because you're my oldest, so I'm passing this down to you. It's just that it's about inherited health risk. Okay. Right. And why that is important is that because in the last episode, you shared how you felt at the time point that you got notified that both your mom and your dad both had cancer. So I got prostate cancer. So how did that make you feel at the time point when you got that notifications? Why don't you kind of share with that?
In all honesty, I felt like, first and foremost, that my world was coming to an end, because I know that typically the success rate just with cancer in general normally doesn't seem like it's that good. Normally, typically, you get told you got cancer, normally in a daggone year or two, you're gone. And that had just been my experience with anybody that I had ever met or talked to that had dealt with cancer, or even anyone that I had ever met with that had been diagnosed or sick with anything. And so that was my first thought, was like, oh, wow. Be like, shoot, here I am, just really starting to get over losing my grandma. And here I am now being told that I might lose both my parents. And so for me, that was the first thought. Then after that, there was the realization that, oh, snap, both my parents have cancer. huh, maybe I might want to start getting tested and checked out to make sure that I'm okay. Because I'm realizing that, oh shoot, I'm in my 40s. You know what I'm saying? I lived the kind of life I wanted to live and ain't really thought about my health or the consequences or what the future might hold as far as that goes, because I didn't think that neither one of my parents would ever get cancer. I didn't think that it was something that ran in my family on not just one side, but both sides. I had no clue because we don't talk about these kind of things. Typically in, our community, we don't discuss when someone has health problems or issues. We keep those things to ourselves. We like to hide it until the very end and be like, so and so died. And you're like, well, why did so and so die? Oh, he had cancer. Or he had a bad liver. Or he had the bad heart.
Mm.
Nah, I didn't. I ain't no Jack. Because you didn't tell me.
Didn't tell. That was the thing. Didn't think. Here's the other thing. Didn't think. Anyway, that it was always about it happened to them. Okay.
Right.
It was always happening to them, not me. And
not us.
it's not us.
Not me.
Okay.
Not me.
Now,
It ain't gonna happen to me.
yeah, you have to come back here on the reality as I go back over things. So for instance, my cancer really hit me in my face. So for instance, my dad had prostate cancer. But my dad also died. He had a stroke when he was up there bowling. And when he went in the hospital, he never recovered. But at the same time, turned out that he actually had prostate cancer. My grandfather on my mom's side, he actually had prostate cancer. Now, I do remember seeing him when he was in his 60s when I came back from Japan and I brought Jared back with me, and he was not in a good state when I saw him. Matter of fact, I came back from being overseas, bringing my grandchild to go ahead and see my grandpa. And when I came in the room, he was sitting in the chair, just all nervous and stuff like this. And blood was pouring out here on the side of his head.
Mm.
And the reason that had was because one of his younger sons that had gotten hooked up on drugs and stuff came in to steal his retirement check. And he wanted his retirement check and he wouldn't give it to him. And he took the trash can and bashed his father on the head, my grandfather. So that was not a good scene for me to come back to and vividly seeing what happened to my grandfather. But he actually was experiencing, he had prostate cancer. They would go ahead and take, like my Uncle Robert, which is my favorite uncle, he would go and take my grandfather, William, to the doctor, but he would never allow them in to go in with the doctor. And it turned out that Robert found out about him having prostate cancer only after him going to the doctor, and they were both going to the same doctor. So there was no major plans like I have, like with Kaiser and everything else and stuff that's going on. But that's how we found out. So with that in mind, since my father had prostate cancer and my grandfather on both sides of my family tree, I had a high risk of prostate cancer. Okay. And by being African American and our culture, mainly our culture, it defined what we were traditionally eating or how we socialized or how we drank are things that was actually contributing factors, but not all of it. But we were at risk. So when Kenny, my brother, he got prostate cancer, and they found it when he was in his 40s. Well, he was more closer to dad and found out about the prostate cancer. He was in the Air Force, and so he had, as a pilot, he always had to have his physicals every year. And so part of his physicals, they started checking on his PSA for the prostate cancer because he told his doctor that his dad had prostate cancer. As a result, they caught it early. So when his PSA piked up, they caught it, and then they went in and he had treatments and stuff. Well, when that was happening at the time point, he didn't just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I got prostate cancer. They're gonna do stuff to me." That didn't happen. But he did tell me when my dad died and I was unable to go back because I didn't have a regular job at the time point. Didn't have any. That was the really the bottom part of me when I was so broke and didn't have no money and anything else, that I was not able to travel back to go to my dad's funeral. But he told me about it, and he told me, I don't remember it, but I believe that he did tell me. But it went in one ear and out the other ear. The reason was because I didn't have insurance. Okay. So when he told me I need to be checked, I'm thinking I got to go to the doctor, and the doctor costs money, and I don't have insurance.
Yeah.
So I don't have a way to do it. So it just went in one ear and went out the other. It wasn't until when I stopped doing the bartender and all that stuff and got into becoming a teacher, then I got regular health insurance. And when I got
Right.
Kaiser is proactive, and they started doing physical and everything else and doing the history. They asked me about prostate cancer. I said no, but because I was African American, he said, "Well, you're at risk." And so what? They started doing my PSA tests, and so the first one was fine. But the next one was started at the next one, it popped up like over an abnormal rate, and then they immediately wanted to go in and do a biopsy. So when they said biopsy, I'm thinking, first of all, one, I didn't know the thing about when he told me about the PSA. He said it's abnormal. He didn't tell me it was connected to prostate cancer. Okay,
Right.
he didn't say the reason we're doing this is because of possible prostate cancer. So I just wanted to, the doctor tells me he needs to do a test. I'm going to go ahead and do it because I
Right.
want why? Because I want to live. That's why we go to the
Yeah.
doctor because we want to live. You
You
know?
got stuff to do still. You ain't done. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I said, okay. So I went in, but when he told me about a little biopsy, I had no idea. He didn't vividly tell me what was going to happen. So I said, but I didn't have sick leave. So I scheduled it for Saturday, knowing that I was going to go to school on Monday. So I figured whatever they do to him on Saturday, I'm going to rest up on Sunday. I'll be okay. Well, I went through this procedure. Now I'll tell you what they did. So what they did was they had to wind up going through my butt. So,
Hmm.
but instead of like with a colonoscopy where they put you to sleep and you wake up happy, this is when you are awake. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so they do a little numb stuff, but then it's like a dentist. You know how dentists put the little numb stuff first, and then he wants to put the needle in you? So it's the same thing. So they do
Yeah.
a little numb, and then he will put the needle. But
Yeah.
the needle
Yeah.
is going in my ass. Okay? So, and then they numb it, and then they're gonna go in, they put they got this tube. It's about, yay, yeah, that's about right. About shoulder width. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's that
Yeah. I
long.
know.
And
I
it's
know.
about, see
I
that?
know.
See
I
that?
had the biopsy done, Dad. Remember? I had biopsy done already.
For prostate?
Yeah, they fucking remember I told you when they first did my colonoscopy, they found they were like, yeah, we need to go ahead and remove some stuff and they get it checked.
Yeah, but
They
once you
removed
sleep,
they removed 3 polyps when I
yeah,
had mine.
right. When you had your colonoscopy, but you were
Yeah.
out.
No,
What you mean you
no,
wasn't out?
I woke up.
Oh, they didn't give you the right dosage.
I woke up.
Oh, you know what? Now there's another thing in
Ain't
common.
ain't
That's
nothing like ain't nothing like seeing your insides on the TV camera.
oh no, I'm laughing, but it ain't funny because
Just saying.
because because
Just
the
saying.
thing is, I had to tell mine. They have to give me a double dose because I wake my ass up too. So
They thought I was lying. I told them I was a ginger. They didn't want to believe me.
so that ride goes up and they go ahead and a thing comes out and it clips. All you hear in this clip. And
Yeah,
they do it
yeah,
again. So they clip in little small segments out. So when they did it, they just came back and they said it was abnormal, but they didn't find anything.
yeah.
So I didn't worry about it. But I still, okay, then, but my PSA kept on going at normal again. So now let's talk about numbers, first of all, because here's the thing. So, first of all, didn't understand about the PSA. So, PSA is a test that they use in order to test your, um, I say, uh, was a risk factor concerning having prostate cancer. That's what it does. Because you
Gotcha.
have to go in for a biopsy to find the tissue, the cancerous tissue, before they give you a diagnosis of prostate cancer.
Right. It's
So my numbers
something
had been
success.
at normal
Hmm.
for 16 years. 16 years. My PSA had been abnormal. Okay. So the problem with that is that then we finally found it only because I was complaining about numbness in my left thigh from my knee to halfway part of my thigh. It was numb. And we couldn't find out what was going on. It was giving me medication and stuff, and that didn't find it. And so finally I said
Hold
time
on,
out
hold on, wait, time out, time out. You said numbness where?
in my left knee, above my knee and my thigh.
Okay. So you
Numb.
want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
My Mine's isn't in my left, but I've been experiencing that same like numbness, deadness in my right leg between my knee and you know what I'm saying, in my thigh area.
Yeah.
Like I've been dealing with that for almost 2 going on 3 years
Bingo.
on that right side.
Okay.
And they now, like I said, it's not the left, it's the right side. But what you're describing is the same kind of issue that I've been dealing with. And they keep saying, oh, yeah, that's just a nerve, just a nerve in your back,
I
a nerve in
right.
your back.
I that had been going on for about like 2 years.
I kid
Okay.
you, Dad,
About 2 years.
I swear on everything, I
And
am dealing with a numbness in my
right.
right thigh right now that, and you can
They
even
gave
ask
me
me,
medication
I have
for
been
the
dealing
nerve.
with it for
Yeah.
like, even right now, I'm freaking
Yeah.
hitting it. And all of the feeling ain't really like my leg doesn't feel like it's my leg, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like I touch it, it's painful, it hurts, no matter what the heck I do to it. Oh, this is a nerve in your back, a nerve in your back. And I'm just like, man, come on, man. Something else is going on to cause my leg to do this.
That's what I
Because
wound up doing. It was because it kept on going on. It kept on going on. So Tylenol didn't work. Went to they gave me some nerve medicine that didn't work. I
and like
started
I've
going
done like the
through.
whole leg and back freaking tablets for like the whole nerve pain and like so that's why I know
Yeah.
like it's not that
Yeah. And
because
then
my
oh,
back isn't hurting. It's just this section of my leg and my thigh.
right. The other part I did, I even started going to a massage therapist because I thought
Mm-hmm.
maybe it was something in there that they can just twerk, up and out.
I done bought the leg massagers, been in
Yeah.
the fancy chairs. I've done that too,
All
Dad.
of it. And none of that,
Nothing,
none of that
nothing
helped.
freaking works.
So
Stretching
finally,
doesn't help. Icy hot.
after right, all of that didn't work. I put on my
Nothing.
Bengay,
Pain a
none of
train.
it. None of it
Nothing.
worked. And so finally, I started doing my own research, because I got my doctorate and I'm not a medical doctor, but I know how to do research and
Yeah.
verify the research and everything else. So I started doing my own research. And then finally, I came across this thing about the MRI contrast. And part of it I knew about is because, see, there was a thing like when Joyce. So when Joyce died, she died of lung cancer, and again, we didn't know. I mean, she had had ovarian cancer, but gotten it was in remission and everything. Then all of a sudden, she started getting constipated, and uh, we were going to Vegas. We went to Vegas, and we got there, and I found out that she had been constipated for 3 days and didn't tell me. And so finally,
Whoa.
yeah, she had been constipated for 3 days,
Taking a
and I
White
said,
Castle.
yeah, and I said, how often does this happen? It says, this just happened now. She says, no, it's actually happened a couple more times, but I didn't want to get you worried. And I'm
Yeah,
saying,
that's not
what? And
good.
then, so I stayed there. The one day I said, no, we're going to have to go back so I can be closer by Kaiser Hospital. And that's what I started going. So I wind up going back and forth about 50 times to the hospital about her constipation. And every time we would go there, they either say gas X or they would
Right.
say gas X about the stool softeners. We do the stool softeners, do the gas X. She had to do that magnesium citrate in order to flush her system
Yeah.
out. We'd do that. She was in so much pain. I was getting up in the middle of the night. I'm working full time and getting up in the middle of the night and going 3 hours in the emergency room and coming back on an hour and a half sleep, going through. And finally, it got to the point I said, something's wrong. This is not right. And then we wind up going to her old cancer doctor, and he decided to do a biopsy and went into her lymph nodes. And when he
Hmm.
found something that was irregular, but then he went in the other side. When he went in the other side, that's when they found the cancer. But this constant problem of something of not having a solution to wind up having us go in, and then they're assigned to an oncologist. And I'm wondering, wait a minute, we're going to get this PET scan, but now Dior Gab is going to see an oncologist. You haven't even told us that she got cancer. But
Right.
then the
Y'all just
doctor, when he
escalate.
did the biopsy, he says, yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, we got lung cancer, but that's okay. We called it early. It went from called it early to stage 4 goddamn cancer in 2 weeks. And then there's a nightmare because then somebody wants to live. And their
Right.
choice to live is that they give you chemo. You better have insurance. Chemo is
Yep.
$20,000 an
Yep.
injection.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
My
she went through
mom just
chemo
went through it twice.
and then she went through radiation treatment. And then,
Yep.
well, we went through immunotherapy and none of it was working. So when she was up here talking about that, when the doctor about my leg, finally I went to my doctor, and this is when I decided. I decided that I was going to take charge of my health. Okay. You're going to provide the services that I've been paying all these thousands of dollars for, but now you got a new MF in charge, and that's me. Okay. So, first thing I told him, I
Right.
said, I want an MRI with contrast. And what they did was put me in the MRI machine, but they put the contrast. And the contrast, when it came back, we were looking for what was happening with my leg.
Mm-hmm.
When they did the contrast for full body, then what they found was a lesion on my prostate. So then they went in and we had to do a biopsy. But this biopsy going in my prostate was guided. Instead of doing the random 12
Yeah, they
things,
actually knew exactly where
they
they were looking and what to
right.
do.
So we knew exactly. So they went in and they had an ultrasound that was going in, and then they went to the biopsy to that lesion. And then when they did that spot, that's when they found the cancer. So my cancer at that point was what they call a stage 1. So um, when you have prostate cancer, they score it. So they give
Yeah.
you 2 scores, and they start like with a 3 and a 3. So mine, it turned out when they did the samples and everything else of the areas, they were at what they call a 3+3 Gleason score, and that's going to be explained. And as I said, there was things I need to
Right.
explain in the video.
Right.
That's going to be in the video. I'm going to
In the
prepare for
video.
you.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, but I had a 3+3 Gleason, which gave me a stage 1 low grade cancer, which you have a choice of or either wait and see. So I was at a low grade, and remember I said my PSA had been abnormal for 16
Right.
years. I was content at the point because then you get the choice. Okay. So if you get prostate cancer, what are your choices to eradicate it? Okay. First of all, you can do you can remove the prostate, which means that it's a robotic surgery. They go in on your stomach 3 different places, then they're going to go ahead and remove that prostate. Now, the only problem with that is that what are the side effects? So, one of the side effects, they're removing the prostate. What does the prostate do? It produces your sperm. It's connected and wrapped it around your urethra,
Yeah.
which means you're talking about a couple of things: possible erectile dysfunction,
Mm-hmm.
incontinence because you can't hold your pee anymore. Okay.
Yep. Gotta
Um,
wear a diaper.
yeah, so affect you on your sex, affect you on just
Their
that, but
quality of life.
quality of life. But then I guess you're at the point. Do you want to live or do you care about sex?
Right.
Guess what? At a certain point, you would think at the age that, okay, well, I'm not worried about that. What would I rather do? So that's one. The other one is radiation. Now, my Uncle Kenny, my brother, your Uncle Kenny, he caught his early. So his
Mm-hmm.
prostate was still small and still at the normal level that they get radiation. And what they did with him was they went in and they inserted uh, radiation balls. They put little radiation balls. So they have little metal balls that they're actually radioactive, and they insert that into the prostate, and that kills it. And so with Kenny, that's what they were to do. In my case, because remember I'd been abnormal all those
Yeah.
years, all that time, my prostate became enlarged. So I could not have the radiation balls put in because my prostate was too large, which meant I
Right.
needed to have radiation treatment.
Right.
And so you've had men on this radiation treatments have any, I've had guys that I've known here in the community, they had to go to the doctor 40 times, 40 different times to have radiation treatments. I decided, you told me about 20 something times. I said, I don't want to do this 27 times. I said, so I asked for the super treatments. So I had like 8 super treatments. I would go in there for a longer time. And that's what I had was radiation. So I had to fill my bladder, keep my bladder full. My bladder had to
Hmm.
be full for them to go in. You go in this machine, and this is laser precision, and it's radiation going through my body to my prostate. That's what I went through. Um, and those are the other option you got if you have a low grade prostate cancer. They call it wait for watch. Now, initially, because I had a low grade, my doctor said we can do a wait for watch. So, what is wait for watch? Wait for watch means we're going to monitor your progress of your PSA. So, if it's still staying where it's at, then we'll be okay because that way I'm not messing up with my downstairs and my sex life. I'm
Right.
not being operated on. I'm not
But you're
subjecting
still
my
getting what
body.
help you need to get.
Right. But you watch. But what they will do is that every year they want to go in and do a biopsy. Okay. So I tell you what, through all that abnormalness, I'd already had 5 biopsies. And what happens after that biopsy? Okay. Not like a colonoscopy, but for the prostate biopsy, what happens is that I'm pissing blood for about 3 months.
Mm,
Okay, 3 months. So there ain't no business going on down there. Okay, during
yeah.
that time point. So that's you're talking about pissing or having blood in your bowel movement. So that's why when after that first time when I got that prostate first biopsy, remember I went to work on that Monday. Okay.
Hmm.
So here's the stress part. You're talking about a trigger for PST. So the bathroom, you have a teacher's bathroom, you got the kids' bathroom, students' bathroom. I don't go in the students, I go in the teachers. But who
Right.
goes in there? Both male, all male. And so we all go into the bathroom, like during the break, standing
Yeah.
in the line, go. Well, when you go in there and you happen to be pissing blood or pissing out your ass, then you got to make sure that you got to watch that toilet because I need to clean up because I don't want
Yep.
anybody coming in after me and seeing blood.
Yep, which is one of the reasons why whenever I have my issues, I call off from work. And my
Yeah,
job knows that. Like, hey, whenever I have my issues back there, like, hey, I'm not coming in that day.
yeah,
Like, freaking, I would be at home because I don't want to put anybody ever in that situation. And because I can't never tell how good or bad it's going to end up being when that does happen. And I put that in perspective, like the good, because there's levels to it. You know what I'm
yep.
saying? Yeah, might have an eye. That's not that bad. I can still go. Then you have the ones like, yep, nope, I can't make it today. Like, yeah, like it's just not happening. So yeah, I completely understand that.
So that was the stress part. So that first biopsy was the first time I did that. All my other biopsies when the PSA was up, I scheduled during the summer because I needed to be, the other part was being able to walk. Okay.
Right.
Having to go to the bathroom more often that I did it during the summer. So and as I got more involved in teaching and was becoming more of an expert with helping students who couldn't pass math, but with me they could, uh, I was always putting my health second to work. And then as I got older, I realized I couldn't do that. So,
Yeah.
but I was okay with they put me first on the wait for watch. I said, oh, okay, I'll wait. I don't make a decision. I live in the 55 and older community. So guess what? How many men in here do you think probably had prostate cancer? Yeah.
Probably
But
about half.
yeah, but they weren't
They don't
sharing.
even know it.
No, yeah, but they weren't sharing and telling everybody, hey, I got prostate cancer and stuff.
Yeah,
No.
no, they're keeping it to themselves
Oh,
and they're still
including the
talking.
wives, don't talk to another wife and tell them about their husband having these things. So as a result, you don't know. So, but anyway, we had one close friend over here. He's no longer a friend because he's a Republican, so I don't like him anymore. But uh, but anyway, he wound up getting prostate cancer, and his was stage 2, but it metastasized. And I said, "Oh, wait a minute! I'm up here on the watch for weight."
Watch the wait.
In
Yeah,
other words,
no.
I
Need
said,
to
you
be
know what?
proactive.
I said, guess what? I am not going to be a Tuskegee experiment because of that wafer watch. They're collecting data on people to see. And
Mm,
as an African American, they definitely want me part of that group. And I said, you know what? Screw this. I picked up my phone and called my oncologist and I said, nope. I said, change your mind. We're no longer going to wait for watch. I want action. Okay.
yeah.
So he scheduled it. So now what happened on that? By scheduling it, what they did was this, the two things. So he scheduled the radiation. That's when we got together and he told me I'm going to do my 8 sessions instead of that.
Yeah.
But before they can go in, then I had to go see another doctor. And remember I talked about those little radiation balls that was
Hmm.
going in for Kenny that I couldn't do with me? But what they wanted to do was make sure they were going in with the to the right place when they were doing the radiation. So I had to go down to Hollywood to another doctor. And then I went in and this was another excruciating pain. What they did was went in and he put these markers. He put markers in my prostate so that when they were doing the radiation,
They
they
knew
knew
where to
targeted
aim.
where they were going.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, this was not good. Okay. That was that this was and this was live without putting me out and everything else. They did the numbness, but it was the most
Yeah,
excruciating.
nah,
I'm
Pippin,
up
they got to
I'm up
put
here
me
doing
out or we
this.
gonna be fighting.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
nah,
up
they
here
got to put
doing
me out.
this.
Nope,
Okay.
nope.
When it
If
was
that
going
happens to
in.
me, they got to
Yeah.
put me out because we will be
Yeah.
fighting.
So, oh yeah. So now I'm a percent. Yeah, that they needed to put me. I would. Oh my God. But I went through that
Yeah.
pain, and then I had to wait because then again I scheduled it to have my treatments uh, during the summer. Okay, so I had the markers put in May, and I waited until school was out in June so I can go ahead and get the radiation treatments because I didn't know exactly what was going on. So I did that. Um, so that went fine. So what happened was that my PSA had was at 10 and it came down, but the doctor threw away the 10 because he thought because me and Carolyn had just gotten together. And so we were two old folks that was I say being happy. Okay. So I happened when the 10 came back, because mine was at 6 and then it went to 10 when me and
Mhm.
Carolyn was together. We just got together, and I told my doctor, I said, Doctor, if I had sex 7 days out of 10 days, would that affect my PSA? He said,
Right?
he said, yeah, I think we need to get it checked again. So, so we went back and got it checked, but then it went back down to the 6. But the 6 was at normal. So let me talk about the PSA numbers, how they're supposed to be. So if you're between 40 and 49, your PSA be it should be 2.5 or lower.
Okay.
Okay. So
I don't
with
even know what
you,
mine
you're
was the
40
last time.
what?
I'm
You're
have to make sure.
49?
49. I just turned
Okay.
49.
Yeah,
See,
so
freaking, I might have to see
49
if I can
is
find my old
2.5.
freaking
Yeah.
test results to freaking see what my PSA was
So
on
yeah,
this last
so at 49, 2.5 or below is where your PSA should be.
one. Okay.
Okay. If you're 50, it goes up to 3.5.
Okay.
Okay. 3.5. Okay. And if you're 60, it's 4.5. And then 70 is 6.5.
Okay.
Okay. So now my PSA had been 6.7 and 6.8, had been there
Mm-hmm.
for about 10 years.
Mm.
Okay. So my PSA was way the high up.
Higher than it should
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And so that PSA that high tells
Mm-hmm.
you, and that consistently tells you something is there and it's wrong. If it
So sorry, square moment. What was John's here recently?
okay, here's his 4. I think it was. Yeah.
What?
Yes.
All right, yeah, I got to get mine checked when I go to the doctor here
Yeah.
in August.
You need to call the doctor and call it's okay. No, this is what you don't need
So
to
I have
go.
an appointment on the first
Yeah. You don't need
already
to be
scheduled.
going. Okay. In order to get this PSA, you just
Mhm.
need to call the doctor and tell him to order the PSA lab work. It's a blood test. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, no, I'm saying when I go to my doctors on the first, I can get my blood work
Yeah,
done,
but you
my
don't
labs
have to
done.
wait to do your doctor's appointment. Okay.
I do
Okay.
because I got to take off from work, Dad. I got bills to pay.
Oh no. Well, yes. Okay. Oh, well, what man, to go in and get a blood test, you can do that after hours.
Uh,
Yeah,
Dealing with
after work.
VA, not
Hmm?
here in Oregon.
Oh, wait a
My
minute. Hold on.
VA is an hour away.
Okay, wait a minute. You're going to the VA to get it done? That's the problem. Okay, so you don't have a regular health plan with your company?
I, I, no, I don't. I'm just using VA.
Okay, so
I'm just
there's
dealing
the
with
problem.
VA.
There's an issue. Yeah, there's an issue. Okay, so now I understand why you're saying you're waiting into that. Okay, but when you go in to see this doctor on this, you need to ask them about them scheduling your PSA on a regular basis
Yeah, yeah.
because you don't need to go into the doctor to get the PSA test. And you just need to check for the lab because most labs, even at the VA, the lab is open after hours because they're connected to, don't they have an emergency room?
They do.
They
It's
do.
it's just the reason why I say I need to schedule it is because of the distance between. So my so where my VA doctor is not it's not necessarily a full-fledged hospital. It's
Whoa.
an office.
Yeah.
To go
Now,
to the VA hospital, I have to drive all the way to Portland
oh, okay. Here's
because
another
we
reason
live
for
in
us.
Lafayette,
Yeah.
Oregon. I live about an hour away from the actual VA hospital. So that's why I say I have to schedule it to either take a day off from work to go, or I have to go to the emergency room on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Okay. So the same thing for us with,
And that's mainly
oh,
because I'm like I said, I'm so tired from working.
oh,
Because like
well,
I
I
said, I
understand that.
what I'm saying, working in the warehouse, moving pipe, boxes, fittings, all of that stuff all daggone day long. All I do when I come home is I want to eat and what I'm saying, maybe watch something and go to sleep because I got to recoup for the next day.
Yeah.
And then once the weekend comes, I have all these plans, all these things I want to do. But in all honesty, guess what I end up doing, Dad? Most Saturdays,
Mhm.
if we weren't doing this podcast, I'd probably be sitting right here in this chair nodding off sleep because I'm recuperating from the week. So I literally really only get one day out of the week to really honestly do anything or try to do anything for myself, and that's on Sunday. But guess what? The only way that you can get checked out on a Sunday is to go to the emergency room. Only way to go to the
Right.
emergency room would be to either go all the way to Portland or go to one of the emergency rooms in one of the neighboring towns and then use up one of my, you know what I'm saying, visits
Yeah.
that you get every
So,
single
so
month.
does your job offer any health benefits and stuff?
They
I know you
do,
have to
and I
pay.
they do, and I was taking it for a while, but once we had to deal with all of this stuff as far as the freaking kitchen repairs and everything else go, I was like, you know what? I'm not even using it. I want to, what I'm saying, divert some money back into the account, seeing as I just had to,
Right.
shell out all this money I hadn't planned on shelling out, because even though I have homeowners insurance, I still have deductibles and fees and everything
Right.
else. So it's one of those things where I was like, well, I'm not using it. I still have VA, so I still have coverage. So I never even used it. I was paying for it and wasn't even using it.
Okay.
So
All right.
Misty
So
was
this
like,
is
"Why don't you
something.
just stop it?"
Yeah. So this is something that we're going to have to work on. Um, that's the other thing. Remember, I talk about the concept about creating the generational wealth.
Hmm.
Is that the wealthy in this case because they have small businesses that they own. Okay, as part of that business structure, then you have Keyman Insurance that will cover both life, but also as far as with medical and stuff, which will be
Right,
tax deductible to the corporation. So those are something as we're going and moving forward and stuff, we got to fix that because like I love Kaiser. I've had Kaiser. Kaiser's the
yeah,
reason I'm alive. Is because when I want to, like for instance, I just had a test on my testosterone level. because I found the connection with that and also prostate cancer. As you're younger, you have your testosterone levels are high, but as
Yeah.
you get older, they drop. But the problem with this. Obviously, when you lower your testosterone, also is a connected with guys gonna have to have Viagra and everything else because you either got erectile dysfunction and stuff that's going on, or your libido, you're just not into the mood on there. But as you get older, it drops. Okay. And what happens is as your levels of your testosterone levels drop, so that stuff is still being produced, but what's happening is that the part which is not there is being converted to DHT. And
Hmm.
that DHT is the bad part of your testosterone, which affects and fuels prostate growth.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you need to be able to maintain that those levels and stuff up in there as well. So one of the other things that a person can do, and see this common thing about the health, and now with up under new administration about what they're doing with concerning with health issues and stuff, and also with education is concerned. But we need to be able to have, we need to find out, we need to have a system so that you can go ahead and get your PSA on a regular basis without you driving 2, 3 hours or whatever the crap to do that
Right.
and have that done. So, but yes, all right. So you already have an appointment. So we're going to get your
Yeah.
PSA and then we'll get that done. And then just
Yeah.
ask your
And I'm gonna have
doctor.
them retest my testosterone as well because they tested it before, but I want them
Yeah.
to test it again
Yes.
because I'm still tired. You know what I'm saying?
Ideally, have them
I
do
don't,
your
you
complete
know,
blood work. Have them do your
yeah,
complete work, your complete blood work.
yeah.
That's what we
Gotcha.
want to have done. We need to have your total blood work done. Your PSA, but you're talking about your A1C count, your complete blood count,
I
your
was gonna
blood
say I'm
count.
gonna have to sign in to my freaking health freaking benefit vet freaking little app or whatever it's called. See, look, I'm getting old. I can't remember the name of a daggone app. Officially old man. uh,
Yeah, because you're right. Like on yours, because you're 49 and John is
hmm
39. Okay,
hmm
and his came out to be 4, which is normally associated with anyone over 60. So that's already saying that there's an issue.
Most definitely.
There's an issue.
Most definitely.
And the thing is that the PSA lets you know what's there on the problem, but then again, we can monitor. But the other thing you can do is the thing on supplementation. They're right. There is natural herbs and everything else that you can take to affect your prostate, like mine. So after my
Right.
radiation and everything else, okay, my radiation was at 3 point, it wound up going from 7 to 3.2, but my PSA right now is point 0.1. And it's point 0.1 and dropped down that dramatically is because of the supplements and the lifestyle change I've had.
Okay.
So I lost weight. Okay. I exercise on a regular basis, but I changed my diet and I'm on full supplements. And those full supplements is not only affected my PSA, my testosterone just because I just had my test is increased. I
Okay.
had a 33% increase on my testosterone. Before I took the test, my wife said, "Oh, you ain't got no problem with that." I said, "But I want to see the numbers." Okay, I want to see the numbers. Well, the numbers came back and supported it. I said, "Okay, 71 and moving on."
Hey, there you go. There you go.
So, but yeah, so those are the things we got to work on. So we kind of talked about the trick. I started watching out for my PSA and stuff when Joyce got cancer and she got lung cancer. And then
Hmm.
the oncologist told us that if you stop smoking, everybody listen, this is a point. If you have smoked in your lifetime, and you go to the doctors and the doctors tell you you need to stop smoking,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So
Yeah. They
okay.
tell me that all the
Yeah, yeah.
daggone time.
Yeah, so they
They
tell.
fussing me all the
So
time. Yeah.
yeah,
Every
so but
single time
here's the
I go, they
thing.
fuss at me.
If you stop smoking, then you need to have your lungs checked every year for 10 years after you stop smoking. See,
Oh
that's
wow.
what happened. When Joyce had the ovarian cancer, the doctor told her that if she didn't stop smoking, that the cancer was going to reappear. She stopped smoking. But the doctor, so they were coming. She was having herself checked for cancer every 6 months, but they were
Hmm.
looking where it was before, the ovarian cancer. Okay. They were checking down below. They weren't checking her lungs. So that's what happened. Why, when she stopped smoking, she'd been smoking for years, 20, 30 years. Okay. That what
Right.
happened, we weren't getting a check. That lung cancer and stuff was growing. That ovarian cancer was just the tip of the iceberg. So people that have been smoking, or you're around somebody and had secondhand smoke, you have to get a lung. So if a person who's a smoker, guess what? You need to have your lungs checked on a CT scan every year. That includes not just regular tobacco.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's all because I had one of my friends here in the community. It turned out he wound up having prostate cancer and lung cancer.
Mm. Yeah,
Uh,
that's exactly why I need to
yeah. So,
make sure that I get everything checked like I need to.
but John's in the same situation there on the insurance stuff. See, that's a problem. We need to figure out a way that there's got to be a way uh, for being able to go to a lab and and get that PSA test. I think that's a project because
Hmm.
you know what? There are a lot of men out there. There are a lot of African American men or men of color, but I would have to say that are out there, young men that may have a family history of someone in the family having prostate cancer, but may be in the same states. Because I was in there. Matter of fact, at your age, I was in the exact same situation as far as my
Yeah.
insurance. I had insurance when I was on active duty in the military. That's what was the best thing in the world. But once I got off active duty and had to adjust and going into the civilian world, most employers, one, want to keep you below 30 hours. Why? Because they don't have to give you benefits. And without the health benefits, not everybody has the means, financial means, especially when you're raising a family, to get up and out and go to the doctors and drop $100 or $200 just to go see a doctor,
Right.
even though you need it. So what happens? We wait until things get worse to the point now you're in the emergency room. Okay. Yeah. So now you're in the emergency room, and then once you get done out of the emergency room, then you don't have insurance, but what they do, then you get that bill. And then that medical bill. Yeah, I remember the first
And
time.
then once you get that freaking medical bill, you're wondering like,
I remember the thing with Jared. I didn't have insurance at the time point that was valid. And then he got sick and had to have an emergency room visit and stuff. And that was like $4,700. And that's cheap now.
yeah, because
$4,700.
freaking, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember how much my freaking last little thing was. My freaking yeah, I don't even remember how much my colonoscopy was. Like freaking or the freaking endoscopy. That yeah, freaking both
So
of
was
those
that
pretty
done through
expensive.
VA?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so that was done by VA. Okay.
it was done through
Um,
VA. Thankfully.
so that's why, I mentioned earlier now, okay, we just going on just talking about, and we're just talking about what's happened
Yeah, I'm
in
actually trying to see if
prostate.
I can log in to freaking find my freaking test. Since we're talking about this right now,
Yeah,
that's what I'm over here doing. I'm trying to see if I can get logged in to freaking
yeah,
do
because
see
we need to
if I can
take a
find
look.
my last test
Yeah,
results because
we
see
need,
now that's stuck in my head
yeah,
now. Like, yeah, hold on.
we
I need
need,
to
that's, here's part of our factory reset and realization. One is that I've shared the family history concerning the prostate cancer and stuff, but there's also been some other things. Here are the things we have to be aware of. Okay. Okay, to live longer. One, we need to make sure that we're taking care of our heart. We have to be
right.
concerned about our prostate. We have to get prepare ourselves for the risk of having a high cholesterol and high blood pressure. Those are the areas that we need to be aware of because those are the things that can cause our life to go short. And each one fuels. We already know that we had susceptibility for prostate cancer. If you do not take preparations for prevention, it will be there. And the main thing is the prevention may not prevent it, but your preparations that you're doing will make sure that your recovery will be a lot faster and a lot healthier. See, if it had not been for me having the lifestyle changes that I've done, okay, I would not have been able to recover where I'm at right now. Okay, for sure.
Gotcha.
Definitely there. It's the lifestyle things that I did. It's like just like yesterday, our routine. We get up in the morning and I take my first thing I do in the morning. I get up and I drink 16 glasses of 16 ounces of water right off the bat. First thing I do every morning. Then I take my first vitamin supplements and stuff I get. Then I have a nutrition, a fruit smoothie in the morning. Then I have a protein bar. Then at lunch, I have my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's my splurge. Then I have a fiber drink in the afternoon. Then at 3 o'clock is exercise time, first round. 3 o'clock, I'm on my weights. And at 3 o'clock, Carolyn is doing her calisthenics with the little weights and everything else. Then we'll eat dinner. Then after eating dinner, a half an hour after eat dinner, then we're doing cardio. So I'm on the elliptical for 30 minutes after every single day. And as a result of doing that, my resting heart rate has gone from 78 to 53. My
Wow.
resting heart rate, I'm 71 years old. My resting heart
Better
rate,
than mine right now,
53.
probably.
53. My blood pressure is like 117 over 68. 117 over 68. I'm 71 years old. My cholesterol dropped from 250 down to 128. My numbers are kicking right now, but I work at it. I work at living. But so that's the message I'm trying to get. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's why the other video is going to go over a lot more of those things because I'm going to show you about those. So we need to take count, we need to take personal responsibility of our health. And that begins by one, we need to chart our numbers.
Squirrel
So,
moment. Speaking
yeah.
of numbers, which one of these would it be on? Would it be under my expanded chemistry panel? Is that where it would be under?
Yeah, it's a chemistry panel. Yeah, or you mean up on the VA? Because so
Yeah.
mine are up on the
Well,
test. It should be
well,
up on
no,
the
no,
test
no, no.
results.
So I'm up under my test results, and the last two things that I have that would potentially have that number on there would be either my CBC test they did,
Okay. CBC is your complete blood count. Okay, what else?
okay, or an expanded chemistry panel. So I'm just trying to figure out which one it would be under. Do you think?
Your expanded chemistry. Okay, the CBC is for blood. The expanded chemistry, you may want to take a look at that because
Okay,
you're looking at
and then PSA would be listed as PSA, wouldn't it? Or what would it be listed
yeah,
as?
right. So PSA test would be listed as PSA. Okay, so you need PSA, you need your CBC, you need a lipid panel,
Yeah. So see,
you need to
I'm
test
not
for.
even seeing that. I'm
You're
not even
probably
seeing
not.
that listed here.
Yeah, you're not. You're probably not. Yeah,
And they were
unless you
supposed to
go.
do my PSA, so they lied when they took my blood and didn't do a PSA.
Yeah,
So
PSA, CBC.
how am I good if they never took a PS? Because I'm not seeing anything listed here as a PSA.
No,
I'm gonna read this off to you. I see a WBC,
okay, that's white blood count.
a RBC,
Okay, red blood count.
HGB.
HGB. What is your HGB?
My HGB says 12.8 for HGB.
Okay.
I have no idea what's the HGB. What's that?
Okay. Yeah. With AI, it's even easier and stuff like that. Is that I realize I've been going to the doctor and they give me tests, and I'm depending on the doctor saying that everything's okay because I'm trusting the doctor. And it turned out, just like I said, my PSA had been at normal for 16 years. Why did
They
it
don't
take 10?
care.
Right.
They
So
don't
yeah,
care.
unless you're all the way up in here going off the chart and stuff, they don't look at it.
All right.
Sometimes they look at
So,
it and just say it's a normal, but no, right. You're right.
all
At the
right. I'm gonna have
12.8,
to ask you some of these other numbers
yeah,
is then.
yeah. They
Dag
should
nabbit.
have
All right.
called you in and had your tests done again. Now, if
All
you had
right.
my Kaiser
So,
insurance, if I
yeah.
get to 12.8, they were going to call me in because that 12.8, That's off the chart.
All right, so freaking, what's some of these other numbers then? What is
Okay.
HCT?
HCT. Okay. Your HCT. Did I have HCT? I know. Let me go to my little friend. That'd be easier. Okay.
In this case, hey, AI, what is HCT?
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That was a blood test, more than likely. Let's see here. I thought I've seen it. Let's see. Okay. It's a percentage. This is also okay. So what is yours?
39.9.
You said 39.9?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
low,
that's good.
whatever it is.
No, that's good. That one's
Okay.
okay. That's normal. What else you got?
Okay. MCV.
MCV. Yeah, I've seen that. Hold on. So your ACT was with your blood. So MCV measures, again, it's about the average size of your red blood count. So what is your numbers?
89.9.
Okay, you're good to go.
Okay. Shoot. MCH.
MCH. Okay, what's your number?
28.8.
28.8. That's a normal range. Okay,
Okay.
next.
MCHC.
MCHC. Okay, so that last one, MCH, means you're getting oxygen into your bloodstream. Okay,
Okay.
MCHC, what is it?
Okay. It says it's 32. It says it's normal.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's at the bottom range of the normal. Yeah,
Okay. Now let's see here. Dang, that man, these blood tests be having a bunch of stuff.
yeah,
Shoot, that I have no clue what it is. Just be trusting the doctor.
yeah.
Uh, RDW-CV
RDW.
dash CV. Yeah, Romeo Delta Whiskey dash Charlie Victor.
Okay. Red cell distribution. Okay, what's your percentage?
14.6.
Okay, that is abnormal just slightly. Okay,
Okay.
and this one is part of the complete blood count that measures the variation in your red blood cells. So with your other numbers, that was probably not really a concern. You're just slightly there. Okay, the top of the range if for normal is 14.5.
Okay. Okay.
And you're at
So
14.6. Okay,
14.6
so we're
somewhere in
okay.
there.
All right, what's the
Okay.
next?
All right. PLT.
PLT. Okay, measures your platelet count. Okay. All right, so what is your number?
Do 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 230, 10, 3.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
Because it says the reference
It
range
must be
is
230,000. Okay, so you
yeah,
said 230 and then what?
and
10,
then it has the
3?
10, the star, and the 3.
10
Yeah.
star and 3. So is that
So
like
like a little
230,000?
asterisk, I guess it's supposed to be. I guess it's supposed to be an asterisk, I'm guessing. Because it's not an ampersand sign. But on the reference range, it has 150 to 400.
Right.
So
It's-
I'm within range for whatever it is.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're probably like 230,000. So you're in between there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what else you got?
MPV.
MPV. Okay. Larger platelets, smaller platelets. Okay. So what's your range?
I'm good on that.
Okay.
11.2.
Yeah, you're good. You're at the top end of it, but you're good. Okay.
Okay. And then there's two boxes, but they have zero results, so I'm not worried about them.
Okay.
And
Let
then
me.
the last one,
Okay.
what's that?
Go ahead.
Oh, and then the last one is RDW-SD.
Let's see.
That's the last one.
Yeah. And where are you at?
And that's a 48.
48, that's high. So that's not normal. Okay, so that's high. Okay, so
What's
now
that
let me
last
go
one?
back. Yeah, so let me go back. And now since I'm actually in my AI going to it. So now let me go here for HGB. So, and on your test there,
Mm-hmm.
okay. All right. So this is different. Okay. Okay. So I'm looking at, see, my test had HGB A1C, but in your case, can you see your HGB on
Hold on.
yours? And you said it was 12.8, right?
HGB, yeah, 12.8.
Okay. And does it show the scale there?
Says the reference range is between 13.6 to 17. So
Okay.
I'm low.
Yeah. Okay. So you're low,
Yeah, my
which,
HGB
which
and the
means
HCT were
so
both
what
low.
we're talking about, and this may be consistent. Here's a couple things that says your low HGB is concerning anemia, but also it says an iron deficiency, vitamin B12, uh, possible area of chronic kidney disease. Uh, it also says cancer and bone marrow disorders of the low H. And it says fatigue. Didn't you? You said that.
Yeah, I'm always tired.
Okay. This one says fatigue, shortness of breath, pale skin. Don't see very much of that, but dizziness or weakness.
Yeah, that's another reason why I'm going to the doctor as well, because my with my hand being hurt, or having the joint pain and everything else, uh it is definitely a situation where I want to talk to him about it, because I I don't feel as strong anymore on this left side.
Right.
Like, I literally feel weaker, and it's been going on for a while now. And like, even when I try to hold up my thumbs, I can show you on the camera, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, this is me holding up both thumbs.
Right.
And you see how one is doing. And
Right.
I'm telling them both to do like this.
Right. That
That's
one's just
this
there.
hand now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's this hand. So yeah.
So this was a good exercise. Here's the one thing we have to do is that most times, and I know for myself, years of going to the doctor, I go to the doctor and he says, I want to order, because you tell him what's wrong, and
Hmm.
then he's going to go get blood tests. It's just
Yeah.
like as a teacher. When I became a doctor, when a student, if I look at his scores and he's failing, but then I do a diagnostic because I want to look at the test results, and then I can prescribe a course of action. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, what I found out is that they were taken and they said, "Oh, it's okay. It's
Hmm.
okay." So, but the fact is that I'm looking back now over my history because now I'm being more informed, and I'm looking, I was at normal for all those damn years and you didn't say anything. My
That part.
cholesterol had been up and over the range and you didn't say anything. And then finally, when
That
I
part.
started questioning, and now you want to go ahead and give me a prescription drug.
Hmm.
So,
But they
but
weren't going to do anything until you realized
right.
what was going on, which
They're
is why,
always for looking
like,
for a
like,
cure.
like, freaking, I'm gonna have to go down a freaking rabbit hole here as soon as we get off the freaking podcast today, because I know somewhere, I think they mailed me a physical copy of those test results, supposedly for when they did my PSA and my testosterone.
Yeah.
I want to lay actual eyes on
Yeah.
them and see what those ranges are. Because after going through that and you telling me what you just told me, I no longer trust you telling, my doctor telling me, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're good. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, your numbers were
Yeah.
fine. No, I want to know what those
Yeah.
numbers were
I
now.
want to know what to know. See,
So, so then this way, me and you can have another conversation. I'd be
yes.
like, hey, Dad, these are what my numbers
Yeah.
are. What do I need to do to right the ship and to do better?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, what do I need to prepare myself for, or to even prepare my family for? Because they're not giving me what I need as far as when my test results are coming back, what I need to do next, instead of saying, oh, yeah, you'll be fine. Oh,
Yeah.
you're a soldier, power through. Man, screw that. I
Yeah.
got kids that depend on me. I need to survive,
Yeah. You
you
do.
know?
Yeah. They depend on you. They do. So this is the whole part about, about men's health is that we realize that there are inherent risks, things about heart, diabetes. I'm glad that we cleared out your test was HGB, whereas mine said
Yeah, something
HG
else.
and A1C. So I'm glad that you and it, but
So they
you
got me walking around
bottom
tired
of
and diabetic.
it. No, you don't want that. That
You
yeah.
got me walking around tired and diabetic. What?
No, you're
Doc-
on the other end. You either become
Oh yeah,
diabetic or you become anemic.
yeah. They're
Yeah,
like,
and that's
Doc,
an
hold
iron
on.
deficiency, but those can be helped by taking the right supplements.
Yeah,
Can actually boost those up. It's just like if I had a vitamin D deficiency. Okay, if I know I got a vitamin D deficiency, I take vitamin D all the time.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
take the vitamin D. I take B12. So one other thing on yours is saying you need a B12. You need iron.
yeah.
But that again is the supplement pack. That's why I take my supplements, is because I know I need it. Because the reason I take
Hey,
this up
look,
because
look,
when I
I'm
looked at
freaking
the
yawning
results,
now. I need a
yeah,
nap already.
yeah. When I look at the results, yeah, well, see, I'm waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I take a nap at 3, but that's after I've been working and everything. So, but all
Freaking,
right,
but
all right. Yeah, well, okay. So did you
freaking,
learn anything? Did we
yeah.
learn anything today?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
I know I did.
Yeah,
I know that my doctor been lying to me about some of my numbers.
yeah. So we have to take personal responsibility about it. But then also, once you do know that things are screwed up, the question is, well, how do you get them fixed? You're right. You got to have
Yeah.
the right, you have to have the right insurance plan in order to take care of that. And so that's the thing. Going back about generational wealth. What is it they do? Why do they have the small businesses and everything else? Because it helps on taxes and it's helped in order to create wealth. The other thing is, as part of those programs, is that they're not worried about insurance on medical. The rich and the wealthy, they go to a doctor, they pick up the phone, and the damn doctors come to them. But the other thing is making sure that you have a means, and not everybody can. We can't all live like the wealthy, not yet. Well, not yet. You hear me?
Not
I'm
yet.
saying not yet. Okay, but we have to put the things that. So now I'm seeing right now for me as a priority, I'm saying is that as we're building this company up, one of the main features in this company, purpose for this company, is going to be able to provide a means for the medical insurance program that's going to be taken out.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
so that's the things we're going. All right, so again, I told you about that other video, but I'm going to have that and create that so we can have that for us and also for others as well. But I think we covered a lot today. Matter of fact, we did 2 segments. We did 2 segments. Yeah. And so now the work is gone, but that's good. So I'm feeling good about this. So looking forward to next week as we kind of go back, but I'll probably look at some of the things here. I'll probably do some little excerpts about the numbers and how
Okay.
do you know what? Maybe it'll probably be good just like I did. So you were telling me what, in other words, you got the blood results back, but you didn't really know what those numbers were.
Right. So I'm gonna see if I'm gonna I'm literally gonna actively look to see if I can find those results. So then maybe we could go over them or have something to discuss next week as a possible
Okay.
follow-up.
Okay, I like that. What we can do is go over. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pick out some tests. Now, we just talked about prostate cancer, so I can go over that, but I'm going to go over a certain common test that needs to be done, and then we can tie it into like Chat GPT so we can understand what it is, but then also understand what things we can do as a preventive measure, as a preventive,
Right.
because that's what we want to do. We want to stop being reactive, looking for a cure.
And
Instead,
start being
we
proactive.
want to be proactive to prevent for prevention. And that's what we look at then. So we'll do that coming up here next week, so as we go through with some of those things. So I'll pick up some of those. Matter of fact, you're going to go ahead and look at some of your work, and then if you have some, then we'll go over those. And that's what we do. Probably just pull it off the cuff, just like we did. I have some already pricked out, but then we can also go with the ones that you come up with as well. All right, sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds like a winner. I think we done.
Right.
This is a wrap.
See freaking now. I just know I gotta freaking look at this paperwork now because it's about to be in my head.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to make sure, when you go in your appointment here, that they're gonna do that PSA and the other tests we're gonna identify. All right, sounds great. Okay, you have a good weekend. Okay,
All right, you too,
hello
Dad.
to the family. All right, love you, son.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching and or listening to Teach, Lead, and Inspire, podcast for 2 generations, 1 mission. When a Marine Corps dad and its Army veteran son sit down to talk life, legacy, and leadership, you know it's going to be real. This isn't just another podcast. It's a bridge between wisdom and action, between past lessons and future goals. Welcome to the conversation we all need, but few men ever get to have. Thank you for listening. This is Dr. Smith. See you on the flip side. Let's build a legacy together.
Keeping score. Let's talk about it. Don't close the door. If you won't change, I won't change. And everything remains the same. And I won't play that losing game. Cause that's when love goes down the drain. Oh, come, compromise. Let me give you just a little advice. Love wears a thin disguise. It should come at no surprise. Come, compromise. Once bitten, twice as shy. It's a case of roll the dice, so we could bend and compromise. Yeah, she's got it, like she's talking, wandering all around here. And when she do it like that, and baby, them hips, them thighs, them eyes sitting pretty and fat. Maybe you could call it styling. I'm a Mustang wailing, but I'm profiling. So let's just get a moment of silence as she walks by with a glint in her eye. Oh, come, compromise.